Hello guys and welcome back to Roll for Damage. So today we're going to make banisters and we're going to start by clipping the little pin side off of our thumbtacks. It's going to leave a little bit only because the bevel of our actual snippers, but that's okay because we're going to use that to create an anchor point onto our popsicle sticks. So for each popsicle stick is going to take 10 thumbtacks. So go ahead and cut out as many as you want or need, and we'll move to the next step. Alright, so here we are. Here is our popsicle sticks. We are going to basically hammer each tack down to the popsicle stick. That way we'll have a pre-made hole because it's still got like a centimeter or a little less than a centimeter. I actually don't know how far a centimeter is, but it's just gonna be a little bitty nub sticking out past the pin, and we're gonna hammer that down into the wood. That way it gives us basically a pre-existing hole when we go to super glue this to it. Now we don't want to waste our time and just randomize, just guessing, and hopefully we line up things. So I figured out a way to do it like this, where if you just hold the bottom of that tack with your thumb, or your finger, sorry, it allows you to line it and space it much more even, and you don't whack your hand in the process of trying to get the tack into the wood. Alright, and we're doing this ahead of time because occasionally you might be able to, you might chip one of your thumbtacks trying to hammer it into the wood, and if you had super glued it before you made that existing hole, you take a chance of actually splintering the wood or breaking the wood trying to get that thumbtack back off. So I really recommend strongly going ahead, nailing all those tacks down where they should go, and then super gluing one at a time in its location. Now I would go and I'd put about two or three spots of super glue and then go back and then just, tap them down gently. And as you could see from here to what we were doing, this is much easier. It's just a very light tap, basically just to make sure the tack sits flush on the stick. Alright, so once we have our strip done at the bottom, I'm just going to go ahead and just put a little bead of super glue on top. You could use hot glue. I didn't want the extra width or wisps for this project because this is a banister, it's not a wall. So I wanted it to be as low profile as possible. That way it looks like, like it should come up to your waist, not, to the ceiling. So there it is, complete, top and bottom. So I wanted to add a little more detail to it. However, again, I didn't want to build it toward the bottom because then it would have built height, and I wanted the detail from the top because that's generally how we look at our tabletop boards and terrain from the top perspective. So I decided to add a little extra board to the top, and I used the same popsicle stick, and I just basically trimmed just a little bit off each side. I didn't measure this. It was just, a tiny little sliver, about the width of a toothpick, I would assume, or estimate. And then I just went ahead and just super glued this as well to the top. Now you can use that Elmer's glue. However, this super glue gel takes a little bit longer than regular super glue to bond. So I had a little bit of breathing room, not nearly as much as I would with the glue. However, I was, I'm a very impatient person. Time is not my friend with projects and family life. So the faster I could get these done and to show you, the better. Alright, so there is the board nailed to the top. However, we're not done yet. I wanted to go a little step further and actually put some little, I'm sorry, I can't think of what they're called, but it's like, the little caps that they put at the end of the banisters or something like that. Whatever that is called, that's what I'm adding. And once again, I'm using the Gorilla Super Glue Gel. This isn't the straight, super glue. And these are those tiny little beads that I used last episode, and these are from the Dollar Tree. You can buy a pack of them. I believe it's 1,000. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. But they come in various sizes. However, even the exact same color scheme or set of beads within that pack, they're glass beads, so they're also blown at different sizes. So I just went through and tried to find the best 3 that would match. Appropriate size and height, because some of them are a little bit taller and wider than the others. And I tried to find the 3 closest I could. Now you see I have it actually aligned on my grid beneath the banister, and that's because I have my 2 outside thumbtacks sitting on those lines. So I knew if that both sides were in the exact same spot on those lines, I know where my center is. And that's where I wanted to put that 3rd bead. Was dead center, not dead center of one of the push pins, because those weren't centered. Alright, and after that, what I did was I applied just a tiny bit of super glue to the top of that glass bead and glued an additional bead to the top of that. However, these beads are super tiny. They were the tiniest set of beads that I had in that pack, and I just wanted that extra little detail, that extra little height, because I'm going to add some extra detail, extra gold paint to those later on, so it matches my tavern. I'm building these for my tavern build. I love my tavern. I spend a lot of time thinking of things I could add to it. However, so to each their own. You could paint these stone if you wish. I tried. I just, I didn't fall in love with them as stone banisters. I think there's an actual different word for those in, with stonework and outside stuff. But I'm no expert by any means, so I would have to Google it. Alright, so for what I'm doing is I'm adding one extra, last extra bit of detail, and that was just this extra little bar that would go between the beads on both sides. And for this I used a toothpick. And as you saw me doing, all I did was put a toothpick up to those beads. I just eyeballed where to cut it when where each side would actually barely fit in between those beads, and I cut a little long, and then just shaved off a little bit as I went, just to make sure I didn't have any extreme gaps going. It's kind of measure twice, cut once mentality. These were super quick to make, super fun really, and they come out looking fantastic. I'm really excited about these. This gave my, I'm only showing you one room of the tavern, which is a room that I've built previously, and everything in this tavern that you'll see pictured I've built in another episode, so you can go back and see basically everything that I'll show you later on and show you how to make it. And I try to do that with all my videos and only show you the things in those videos that I physically make. Alright, so here I opted for the Elmer's glue, or the school glue, or PVA glue, whatever you want to call it, blah blah blah. Anyway, I used this for this first banister. I used PVA, and then after that I realized, you know what, I can actually use the super glue for this as well. I did not want to use the school glue for the beads because they're glass, and school glue and wood don't have the best adhesion, bonding, whatever you call that, together. However, wood, glue, and wood hold pretty well. So it would, it's not bad at all. I just didn't want to wait as usual. So I was trying something different, and I wanted to see what the difference was between using a primered black as a base coat banister, which I usually do for all of my projects. I usually paint them black. But then I was like, well, you know, I'm doing this because I was showed how to do this. So what's the difference? Well, you could see. The one on the bottom, the one I'm holding right now, was primered black, and it's got a nice deep worn look to it, which I use in my tavern. The other two were the standard, you know, regular popsicle sticks, and you could tell the difference in color. So here I am applying my gold to the top caps of my banisters. I was trying to get this on the camera for you. I'm having camera issues at the moment, but it was really hard to do that and hold it and not get paint everywhere. So here they are. Da 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 da! After. Not so bad, huh? So there you go. Once again, you could see that that primered black one is in the middle, and the one I'm holding now is just a plain, you know, wood popsicle stick that I painted. They're both painted twice with the exact same color, and you could see the difference even in this final picture. However, that is my... As always, I hope you give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and click that bell to make sure you get all the notifications. See you guys next craft.